Hello there, Claude Fable 5, the most capable AI model for game development, is finally back, after basically being blocked by the US government for around 20 days, just so that you can see the true power that this tool has. So what if we would start from a complete Godot project, a full set of sprites, and let Fable 5 create a complete game with all this? In this video, we're gonna be building Nora Vale, the Shifting Dream, a mystery suspense adventure where you explore dungeons, solve puzzles, make branching decisions, collect memory shards, and unlock different endings depending on your decisions. This is not meant to be a small prototype. The goal is to build an actual full game. On top of that, we'll use Godot AI, an MCP that will allow Claude Fable to directly interact with the Godot editor, and the Sprite Cook MCP to allow Fable to generate any missing sprites if needed. Let's see how far we can push this super complete workflow together. Okay, so here is my Godot project, and really the only thing that it has are the different assets that we're gonna be using. As you can see, like, I have dozens of assets that we're gonna be using. Like, these are, for example, NPCs. Then these are all the different player animations. I also have a prisoner. I have collectibles such as these different relics, even versions of the relics all together, like a sliced full version, consumables, decorations, even the dog, okay, that the game will have. I basically spent a lot of time in a sprite cook, okay, to generate all this amazing art that I'm gonna be using for the game. And even take a look at this. It's able to generate an auto tile, or basically a terrain in Godot. So, for example, over here directly on their website, I can try out, let's say, drawing a level, and then with this button over here I could download it as a Godot zip, and then, for example, this would give me a scene, and by editing the data tile map layer and going to the terrains and selecting it, I can directly go over here and start painting my levels. This is amazing, literally. Not to even mention like all the amazing animations that this tool is able to create. For example, take a look at the dog over here, or the main character. Literally, in a matter of few clicks, I was able to generate all these animations. So as you can see, I was still the one in charge of validating every single asset, of actually creating the game idea. And not only that, but then I also created another document with even like different prompts that then I put inside of Sprite Cook to generate the different assets. And actually I want to show you all this so that you see all the human tasks that we still have to get done, which is creating our own vision of the game, validating the different art, and that is something that we still have to be in charge of. We cannot tell AI, okay, create a narrative game happening in a dungeon, and we lean back and wait until it's completed, because that will probably, maybe, yes, it will give us a result, but it's a standard result. If you actually create your own document, explaining your idea and all that, and actually upload it to an AI to clean it up, and then upload it to Claude, that's what we're gonna be doing, the final result is gonna be exactly what you want. And that will finally produce something that is actually interesting and doesn't look, let's say, AI made. So to set up the tools that we're gonna be using for this, it's actually very simple. The first one is Godot AI, which is the MCP. You just need to go to the asset library. Here, look for Godot AI and install it. Then you just enable it over here, basically in your project settings, then plugins. Then you go to clients and settings and click on configure in whichever you want to use. And that would be all. Then in Claude, let's go to settings, then on connectors, then customize. Click on the plus, create plugin, add marketplace, add from repository. Then you will need to paste in this URL. I'm gonna be leaving it in the description. Click use, sync, then over here, and here you're gonna be finding a button to install it. And with this setup is complete. Okay, so here we are, Fable 5, and let's put it in ultra code. Maximum power. I'm gonna give it this image and this other one just as a concept, and also this PDF with even more information. And I also have this prompt, okay? As you can see, my usage is at 0%, but for example, the all models one gets reset in just 20 minutes. So well, we're gonna see how all this goes. And of course, Fable is at 0, so let's see it. Okay, so it's been thinking about 15 minutes. And well, the limits, well, they will get reset in 2 minutes. So it used 6% of the current session limit, basically the 5-hour limit, and around 2% of the all models limit, basically the weekly limit, and 2% of the Fable specific one. But as you can see, it didn't spend that many tokens right now because it's just, I believe, planning the project and doing the initial steps. So it will actually start spending way more tokens once this workflow actually starts. Because the workflow will just basically launch lots of sub-agents to take care of creating this game. And trust me, that consumes thousands of credits. Because how this works is that Fable 5 usage will include for up to 50% of weekly usage limits. So it's kind of weird, let's say, the model. And after July 7, it will only be available via usage credits. Basically, you have to actually pay extra, okay? Completely besides your current subscription. By the way, I'm part of the Max 20X plan that literally costs $200. So well, indeed, it's a very, very expensive model. Yeah, but okay, here you can start to see it. We have multiple agents for different tasks such as core, builder, actors, interactables, UI, data, even audio. So they are all working simultaneously, and take a look at the massive number of tokens that this has consumed in a matter of literally 1 minute. And this even has different phases, as you can see. So firstly, agents will draft something, then that something's gonna get verified, and then it's gonna get fixed. Okay, so it works literally for something like 2 hours and a half, and here's telling me switch to Opus 4.8. I don't understand if this has been like in the middle of it or at the very end. I don't know, but I know that it's working. It has worked with Fable for something like 2 hours or so, and maybe just the last part worked with Opus. And also I can verify this because in the usage, once again, remember I'm part of the Max 20X plan, so these plans cost $200 monthly. And so as you can see, it used 58% of the 5-hour limit, and Fable is in 20%. Okay, it's actually a lot. This model safeguards flagged this message. Wow, this is super weird. But I can still switch back to Fable, I think. Yep. Okay. Yes, and indeed here you can take a look at this. Most of the cost, as you can see, directly came from Fable. Yeah, but as you can see, just 8% of it was Opus, and the other 92% was Fable. I don't understand why this message got flagged, really. And take a look at the cost of this. Close to $400. What the fuck? This looks freaking awesome. Okay. Okay, so this is locked. Let's go over here. Wow. Okay, so we have this guy over here. Okay, we have an apple. Okay, we've just collected it. And okay, we have this inventory. So if I take damage, okay, I should be able to heal. Okay, so we can collect these shards. Oh man, I can't believe it. I'm so freaking happy. Okay, we have here a key. And we have another shard over here. Okay, so we have to complete the 9 of them. Take a look at this. Take a look at this. Everything made with AI, man. And okay, we have to open this gate. Oh. Take the east door down the neck. Okay. We can open up this chest. Okay, we've gained some coins. Okay, so let's go over here. No. Man. Okay, let's collect the coins. The key. No, man. We have to choose between saving this guy or the dog. Basically, or this dog over here. Let me save the dog. Oh, but I need the golden key. Oh, wait, it's right here. And now, okay, let's save it. Yeah. Rehash. Okay. Okay, this looks really awesome. Oh, it follows me. It follows me. Let me hide my camera because, you know, the important thing here is the actual gameplay. Man, the dog freaking follows me. Okay, and now... okay, what can we do? Okay, next level, I suppose. Okay, we have different music. No. This is sick. This is freaking sick. Okay, let's go over here. Collect more fragments. Wow.
Okay, we have mini map, we have potions, we have more shards. And what the fuck is this? Okay. Okay, and this supposedly should be the last level. Okay, so we can either like wake up from the dream or step back. So let's open it up. Oh man! The door opened. No shards, no name, no dog. The village took her in, they called her the Found Girl. Okay, an engine found the holoscape. And over here we have like dozens of different dreams. But no. This is too good like to be true. Like all the levels, like we could have perfectly here like 30 plus minutes of gameplay. I can't believe it. So this was level 1. Now with enter I can basically pass through levels just to quickly be able to see them. So now let's, for example, grab the key and actually go with the human instead of the dog. So here it is, unlock, and yes, free. Perfect. Okay, and where is this guy going? And then, okay, let's load in the next one. And okay, now, well, for some reason here we are with the dog, but well, you understand the idea. Okay, we are collecting more shards. And okay, let's see if we can find the code somewhere. Okay. And well, this is the other level. Take a look at the environment, at the mechanics. We don't have like an enemy here. And well, this is the other level. Okay, I'm just showing you a little bit because literally playing this would take me like, I know, 30 minutes or so. I don't know. Let's, for example, now hold the dream to see what happens. Okay, once again we have more text about the story, all that. Okay, I love it. Okay, ending found, keeper of dreams. Now over here we should have this new ending, and we have 6 different ones. Okay, I can't believe this. And once again, like literally, if I want to, I know, modify whatever I want, for example, let's go to the level 1. I can literally do it. Like, I don't know, for example, this thing here, looks a little bit off, so I can reposition it here. So literally I can do whatever I want. I do have to say that I've been reading like different opinions on this, like people saying that is super expensive. So you can see 6 times more than Opus 4.8, and this thing about that it can be used for coding. Well, we've seen it also in the video. Very interesting that it burns way too much tokens, and well, indeed it does burn a lot of tokens, and I do think way more than the previous Fable version. Yes, I'm 25% in. It's way too much, but well, this is all I can mention right now.
And now, just so you know how I manually generated some of these assets, for example, to create the main character, I already have this prompt, and to create it, I just uploaded the PDF describing what the game is about to an LLM, and I told it to give me prompts for every single main asset that I will need. So here in a sprite cook, I'm gonna go to the character creator, then I will paste in the prompt, next, in this case it's gonna be top down, and click on generate. As you can see, here we have a first version that I think looks very cool, but if we wanna revise something or change whatever we want, we can type it and click revise. And now, for example, I like it a little bit more. Then let's continue to animations, and you will basically select whichever you want. Then I will click on generate, and something that is awesome is that when all animations finish, you can actually preview them here, and as you can see, they look really awesome. Well, for example, this is like the original character from the game, and for example, this was the first version that it generated about attacking right, but as you can see, it looks kind of weird in some frames. So in those cases, you can go to previews, and here in already made, select any of the animations that don't look that cool, and then generate it, and it will basically regenerate it. That's very awesome. More stuff, they also have a create pack option. So here, for example, I use this one and top down, and this will basically give you like a complete pack, okay, following the style that you selected. Super useful for general ideation, because it basically creates dozens of assets in a matter of few seconds. Lastly, in the asset generator, here you can create the auto tile sets that I explained a couple of seconds ago, well, at the very beginning of the video actually. You can even upload like a style guide of the type of tile set that you want. Or even another thing that I love a lot is that, for example, for this fragment, what I've done is create a prompt that says something like create a pixel art 3x3 grid of relic fragments. So indeed it created all these fragments, and then using the slicer, I use the auto method to slice all these different pieces. So this is super useful. For example, in this use case, okay, but I'm sure that you can think of many ways of taking advantage of this. Because then, for example, what I've done is use it as a reference, and then I just told Sprite to create the exact same image, but with all the fragments together. That is something that we've actually seen in the game, how we are using. Okay, so this is all for today's video. I'm super happy with the final result, and well, indeed the power that Claude Fable has is just amazing. You can take a look at Sprite Cook using the link in the description down below to start generating amazing art as I've done in this video. See you in the next one, and bye bye.